Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television and radio talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get drive home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on television. We are on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And yes, we are on the radio. It's the big powerhouse country station in South Carolina. There they are right there, WZLA 92.9 on the dial. And I have to tell you, I used to listen to them before we moved here, and but I listened to them on the internet, so you can find them that way as well. Go ahead and click that, and you'll be glad you did. You still find us on all the social media sites, facebook.com/DFeazell and X and Twitter, the whole works. I've got it all. But thank you so much for watching. Continue sending email. I appreciate it. Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. Got one of my friends with me right now. His name is Alan Mendenhall, and he's with the Heritage Foundation. It's always so good to be with you, Alan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Donna. Thank you. It's always good to be with you too.
Well, tell me how the weather is in LA.
LA, Lower Alabama. It's actually a cold day for November. It is quite cold. I was in DC all week last week and was expecting to come home to warmer weather, and unfortunately did not.
Yeah, it's been pretty cold here too. Now, just up the road from us, we're not on the mountains of South Carolina, but up in the mountains, when you get to Asheville, they had snow today.
Oh my goodness! Well, you can blame me because I think it was 2 weekends ago, maybe it was 3 weekends ago. I flew up to Connecticut to go to Great Barrington, Massachusetts. You have to fly either to Albany or Hartford, Connecticut, and then drive to get to the Berkshires. But it was mid 80s here in Alabama when I left. Felt great, nice and warm. And then when I flew back, I think I let in all the northeastern cold air into the plane because it's been cold ever since I got back, like colder than it normally would be for this part of the country.
Yeah, it's your fault. You're going to have to pay.
I think it is.
Absolutely. Alan is also he's an author and a speaker. You've written several books. Let's talk about some of those and how folks can find your writings.
Well, all my writing is on my website. All my books are listed there, but all my books are also available on Amazon. If you put my name into Amazon, I guess my name appears on the screen, but if you're just listening by radio or you're walking around the house listening, it's Allen, Allen, Mendenhall, Mendenhall. So just AlanMendenhall.com. And my most recent book is actually an edited collection. It came out last year, and it was actually done in collaboration with two other colleagues, and it was collecting different speeches from past Philadelphia Society meetings. Philadelphia Society is an organization of conservatives.
Looks like I may have missed you for a second. Alan, you got to check him out, AlanMendenhall.com. And I'll have to tell you, these books are so exciting and realistic and
looking to make this book.
Going ahead.
Oh yeah, the first book was a Conversations on Conservatism, which I was not one of the editors of that one. I was one of the second editors of the second volume, which was like Controversies in Conservatism. So we wanted to find the speeches where people were fighting with each other and put those in the book. And so that was fun to work on, but I still maintain that editing a book is more difficult than actually writing one. For some reason, it's easier for me to write a book than edit somebody else's stuff.
Oh, gosh, it would be tough because I'm writing a children's book right now, and I can be my own worst enemy. I'm just telling Phil could read it and go, "What's wrong with it?" And I'm like, "Something doesn't feel right." And he'll say, "Well, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean it doesn't feel right?" And I'm like, "It just doesn't feel right. It's not clicking with me." So I'm one of those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the old phrase, the old saying is the act of good writing is rewriting. And so it's just a constant process. I could edit and edit and edit my pieces forever, but at some point it just helps to have a deadline. That's why I like having these deadlines. I write a weekly column for one publication, and then I write 2 columns a month for another publication. And I don't have time to just sit there and scrutinize. I have to just send it off and trust the editors. And, not always happy with edits that get made to my work, but for the most part, I'm fine with them. And I've noticed that not everybody really hangs on your every word. I used to stress about going on podcasts, like something like this. I might worry about, well, what if I said this or what if I said that? And at a certain point, I realized, well, so you mess up or you say something that was just subject to misinterpretation or whatever, but it's never really come back to bite me so far. So who knows? Maybe this is the interview where I just lose it all. But
you've never done that with my show. I mean, you've always been spot on. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, people like I've been told that, of course, you're a smart guy, and then I've also been told you were humble about it.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. Well, thank you to whoever says that to you.
Do the bragging because you won't. So I have to do it. It's almost like you're my son. So, son, you're doing a great job. Keeping up with your kids, man. You've got some smart kids too.
Well, they are smart kids. My son Noah has grown so much over the last 3 or 4 months that it's starting to bother me. What has he gotten into? What kind of plant growth material or something? He looks like a giant grasshopper, and it's shocking. I mean, I wish I knew how much he's grown, but he's almost my height.
Did he have growing pains? Because Brad did. It was like through a summer he spurted up 5 inches in one summer. So I take him, because I'm, a mother, I'm imagining all kinds of things wrong with him. So I take him to the doctor, and the doctor said, that boy's just having growing pains. I said, so there's really? I mean, I thought that was like a cliche. And he said, no, kids sometimes go through growing pains, and they hurt him in his legs.
Yeah, that's I had growing pains. They were like cramps. I would get basically like a hamstring cramp, or it would happen in my thighs too. I don't recall him talking about that. He did. I mean, he's just getting himself hurt doing normal stuff. Last week, I guess it was week before last, I got a call from the school, and I had a busy schedule. I mean, it was back to back this and that, and I get a call from the school. Well, everything's okay, but we think Noah has a broken arm, and we need you to come pick him up and take him. Like, oh, you got to be kidding me. He's about to break the other. I'm about to break the other arm by the time I get to him.
Well, I would say more interesting probably than when I broke my arm. So my parents get a call from the school, and so I broke my arm right here. I didn't even know it was hurting until we were in right after lunch. Some girls and we were roughhousing each other, and one of them kind of bumped me, and I fell off of a 2-inch curb. Okay, so I'm in study hall, and it's not even hurting until the study hall teacher walked by and said, what's wrong with your arm? And it was like swollen double. The other one, Then I started crying. Then it started hurting.
Then it hurt. Once you looked at it and you said, oh no, I think something's wrong.
But nothing glamorous. I fell off of a 2-inch curb, but I'm sure your son went through something much cooler than what I went through.
Well, he was playing basketball, and
isn't he a golfer as well?
He's a golfer as well. It's basketball season. He's sort of taking some time off of tournament golf, and he's enjoying himself playing basketball, except for this. Now, he didn't break the arm. It ended up just being a sprain, and so he had a soft cast for a week. He's now back playing again, which is a tremendous relief. But I tried to remind myself in the moment, wait, aren't you the guy that has broken an arm 4 times? I broke this right arm 3 times. And then in 2021 at the driving range, I broke my left arm. I was swinging. I had a 4-iron, and they had the little ropes, and you're supposed to hit within the ropes. And somehow my club hit the rope on the follow through, and my arm got caught. And of course, when you've got a swing speed of over 100 miles an hour, whatever my swing speed is, and your wrist gets caught, that's a significant.
Definitely quite a break.
Yeah. Well, it was the break wasn't bad, but that's a significant velocity to just suddenly snap your wrist, and it was enough to break it.
That would be like in a car accident where you just have to stop, and you're just like that. and it just kind of jerks your whole body.
Yeah, I had to have a cast, and had to stick a ruler down there to scratch the itches and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm too old for this. What? This is ridiculous.
I was 14 when I broke my arm. And it's so funny, the little silly things teenage girls do. And so me and this guy liked each other, and I had tucked his picture down in the cast.
Oh, no.
For some dumb reason. I don't know why I did that. And then we broke up, and of course I was over it. It was no big deal. And so when they were taking the cast off, there went his picture. It fell out, and I went, oh.
Oh, man. Did you remember it was down there, or had you just forgotten it was in there?
Forgotten about it. And we broke up. We're still friends, but we just broke up, And so but it fell down to the elbow part of the cast.
Oh, my goodness.
Goofy things teenage kids do. Yeah, still do.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, goofy stuff. So the Heritage Foundation, you guys have got some great things going on. Let's tell everybody what you do there.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I'm a senior advisor in the Capital Markets Initiative, and that means we focus on securities, the stock market, but not stuff like, oh, is the market going up or is it going down today? We focus more on issues like ESG, environmental, social, and governance investing, which refers to the non-financial standards and factors that asset management firms, financial institutions, regulators account for when they allocate capital or assess risk. So I do a lot of writing, a lot of speaking on ESG, but we also focus on wokeness in corporate America writ large. And as you can imagine, the Heritage Foundation as an institution has a pretty large investment portfolio. So we own shares of a lot of companies. And for many, many, many years, the left was very good at being activist investors, engaging corporations to push them to adopt policies that did not align with the values of their customer base. People would always say, like, why does this company do this? Why would you why would you adopt this, pro LGBTQ policy? Or why would you, try to pay for, employee abortions and do all these controversial things? Why are corporations so far left? Well, this is one reason, is because the left was doing shareholder activism. And for a long time, the right never did that because it sort of felt wrong. You wanted business to do business, and businesses were doing conservative stuff just by being businesses, and so it's gotten so bad that now shareholders that are conservative are having to push back as shareholders. And so we go through our portfolio and we've looked at companies and we've said, okay, let's file some shareholder proposals, not to try to push companies to do things that are conservative, but to push companies away from the left-wing stuff that costs them a lot of money, that has nothing to do with their business, that alienates consumers, and just get these companies back to neutral. Get them to be doing what their businesses is supposed to do to make them profitable. So we focused on a few different things. We looked at regional banks with misaligned corporate policies. One, for example, is headquartered in Alabama. We own shares of Regions Financial, so we filed some there. My most recent 1819 news column is about that. I can talk about that in a minute. But we also focused on Truist is on our list, Zions Bank, M&T Bank, Bank of America. And then the second category of companies we looked at are companies that are federal contractors still using DEI metrics in their executive compensation, because now we've got President Trump cracking down on DEI in the federal government, and yet companies like Dell or Northrop Grumman or Honeywell or RTX or GE, Merck, Lockheed Martin, they are still using DEI in their executive compensation and in some cases other metrics, even though they're contractors with the federal government. Another category we're looking at is companies with a 100% score from the Human Rights Campaign. One reason that's bad is if you get a 100% score from the Human Rights Campaign, that means that your company is covering the provision of puberty blockers in your healthcare coverage. So you can basically cover the transing of young kids through your healthcare coverage. And so companies that you would think would be really conservative are doing this, like Philip Morris. That's a shock to me. Johnson & Johnson's doing it. IBM has 100% human rights campaign score. American Express has it. S&P Global has it. So these are examples of companies that are doing that.
So let's get into that to begin with. And I want to say something about Cracker Barrel. Okay, so Cracker Barrel, I think they've learned their lesson. I think they have. I was passing by a Cracker Barrel in Greenwood, South Carolina, and they had the same. I don't think they ever took their logo down, though. I think they kept it.
Yeah, the ones that I've seen around here in Alabama have never changed. The logo was up, then the new logo was announced, and when the declaration came that the old logo was going to stay, nothing had happened. It was still the old logo on all the buildings around here. So I don't know if
I would have been ticked if I'd changed it and then had to put it back.
Oh, I know. Can you imagine how much money they spent? I mean, they spent a ton of money just on the new advertising campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But how
do they get into that mindset? It's like the dumbest mindset. Budweiser, for goodness sakes, I used to handle the account for Budweiser, Bama Bud, over in Oxford, Alabama. That was one of my big accounts. And I'm just telling the guys I associated myself with there they would not have went with that. I mean, it would have.
Well, yeah, the Dylan Mulvaney Budweiser campaign was a disaster unlike any other. And I haven't had a Bud Light since. So it's been 3 years now. I typically don't, I mean, when I drink beer, it's not Bud Light. I kind of like the hoppy, the IPAs and stuff like that. But at any rate, I still haven't had a Bud Light, and I'm not sure that I will. But somebody made a point the other day, which was, okay, it's okay to not boycott Target anymore because they stopped doing all that bad stuff. Like, we want to reward companies when they make a good decision. And so while I'm still upset that Target put all the trans and LGBTQ stuff up on the front of its shopping during holiday season, all that. Well, when they made the decision to stop that because it was bad, there's got to be a way as consumers to signal that, okay, we're rewarding you for making the right decision. Instead, what happens is they keep losing. And I'm like, I have mixed feelings about that. Like, yeah, if a company was that dense, that dull, that naive or dumb to make that decision, they should suffer the consequences. And they should keep suffering them for a long time so that an example can be made. But
totally agree with you, because if you're going to make that dumb mistake, first of all, to be a successful business, you have to know who your market is. Yeah. And I'm just telling you, Budweiser's market was not that. I mean, it was
not.
So,
well, and these executives, they still think in terms of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And they're like, well, we made a mistake in Q1. By the end of Q2, people don't remember it. And then Q3, you're on your, well, I can tell you, it's not like the news cycle. The news cycle, people in 1 week, a scandal is gone. You could have something and it seems like the worst thing, and you just hope for more news to come in the next couple of days because people have a very short attention span when it comes to news. But I don't think it's that way with brands. Like I said, I still don't drink Bud Light, and that's been 3 years now since that campaign. And I think people have a different time horizon when it comes to the decisions, the marketing decisions of big companies.
I think so too. I mean, and same with Cracker Barrel now. I mean, to me, it wasn't even really that. The logo, the food just was not the same.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it changed. But I'm a cook though, and I can tell when some.
Yeah, you would be able to tell. I like everything. I don't know if I just was born with poor taste buds or what, but I just shove food down my throat and I like it all. There's very little that there's really nothing I won't eat. I mean, the only thing I can think of that I don't like is prune juice. Is disgusting. Other than that, I'll pretty much eat anything. If it's edible, I'll take it. I'll eat it. I don't know in terms of actual food that there's anything that I just won't eat.
I can't think of anything I don't. I think I even like prune juice. I think I like everything.
Yeah, I just, I mean, I guess if I have preferences, obviously, like I tend to order certain things on a menu over others, but I like things. I love eating fish, but if I have a choice, if I go to a steak house, I'm going to be ordering a steak before I ever order fish. I think I was just at Morton Steakhouse in DC on Saturday, and I ordered the ribeye, and I thought, gosh, this sea bass looks amazing, but I can't order it over a ribeye. But if it had been the only thing on the menu, I would be really excited to get this sea bass. I don't know. It's funny how that happened.
Not going to Long John Silver's and ordering a hamburger.
Yeah,
I mean, or a barbecue place getting a burger. I mean, this is I totally get that. Yeah.
There is one other category of company, though, that I wanted to mention, Donna, because I think this one is important. We did target companies that use the Southern Poverty Law Center's metric, their diagnostic tools, and that includes the hate map, which targeted Charlie Kirk's TPUSA. So when Charlie Kirk was assassinated 2 months ago, it was revealed that SPLC had recently put TPUSA on that hate map. And so we realized that other companies had been targeted for such a thing, like Family Research Council, and targeted with shooting and violence. And so we went and looked at which companies we held shares of that were using that hate map. And it turned out that we had PayPal, Alphabet, MasterCard, Amazon, Meta or Facebook, Salesforce, and Starbucks. And I was just on a phone call last week with the Starbucks general counsel and executive vice president and some other faces on the screen, just like, like the Teams Brady Bunch display or whatever. And they're filing a no action letter with the SEC. So now we have to decide, are we going to try to sue Starbucks over this? And so we got some interesting things going on, but that kind of stuff is fun work to do and good work to do. And unlike any of the stuff I did in higher ed, where a lot of my work in this stuff was theoretical, I was writing about how other people did it, but I wasn't out doing it myself. And so it's nice to roll up my sleeves and have some hands-on activism, I guess.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of that in you. I didn't tell you earlier, but we're going to have to go into 2 commercial breaks this time.
Okay.
We've had a lot of customers on, so I've got to talk about a couple of them. So Honey Baked Ham is one of them. So make sure you check them out. If you don't want to cook the ham or you want a turkey, they have really good smoked turkey there as well. So check out Honey Baked Ham. And also another, and I had never heard of them until we moved here, but they're the Eggs Up Grill. Have you ever been to one of them?
I have not.
Oh, wow. They're pretty awesome. So they serve only breakfast and lunch. And you can have breakfast for lunch if you'd like to. So they're one of our new sponsors. They have a few locations. They're targeting 100 more stores coming up in the next year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they're really awesome. So they're very cafe-like driven. It's just a comfortable family place to be. So
I love breakfast for lunch. Love it. So I'll have to check it out.
A $25 gift card. So we're doing that every Friday there in Honey Baked Ham. I also wanted to mention My Patriot Supply. And, I'm into preserving foods big time. And that's what they do. And they're running a huge special. So you need to go to my website, donnasedge.com. You'll see a link in there with My Patriot Supply. Click that link. And if they ask for a code, just put Donna in there and that'll do it. But they're having some really good prices right now. So you need to go ahead and check them out. I also wanted to thank all of our Alabama sponsors who stayed with us throughout the move. Definitely appreciate that as well. Bobby Ledbetter of Twin City Used Car Sales. We go to Alabama on the 3rd Monday of the month, and we do a whole bunch of recordings down there. So come by and check us out. We'll be down there 3rd Monday of the month. Let's go into a commercial break. We shall return in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Age television talk show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. Central and 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. That's 1 p.m. Central. I have my friend Alan Mendenhall with me. He's with the Heritage Foundation. We've been talking about customers. You got to know what your customers are. And you got to really... You got to supply those customers so they'll keep coming back. And I'll have to tell you this, even though people buy ads from me and sponsor the show, and I'm very happy when they do, but I just got to tell you, word of mouth is the best advertising you could ever have. I'm even telling you that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I'm excited to know that you still come back to Alabama every, what was that, 3 weeks, did you say?
Third Monday of the month.
Third Monday of the month. That's great. That's wonderful. I'll have to go up and do a show with you there. Are you still going to the Gadsden Mall?
I'm going to Twin City Used Car Sales most of the time. Sometimes I go
neat.
But you know, something really interesting is you have to take care of your customers, even if you think you're about to leave. We knew we were going to be moving. I love the Gadsden Mall. And I'm just telling you, Kaylee Johnson is an awesome, awesome lady. She received a job promotion while I was there because a mall, which is almost like a ghost town these days, hers actually grew in revenue.
Isn't that great?
So, well, she's a wonderful person. And I think one thing is her background is retail. So she can talk with people about what it's like. She understands what they're going through. And I think that's what makes her a very successful person. So I was dreading telling the Alabama customers that we were leaving. You know, and so I was just really dreading it. I told Bobby, and Bobby said, I'm sticking around because you're online. It really doesn't matter. And so I was dreading telling Kaylee I was moving. And so she said, you're moving to where? And I told her, and she said, oh my God, we've got a mall in Anderson. That's just a few miles.
Kidding me.
So she said, that's yours. You're going to have the Anderson Mall. Take it.
You've got to be kidding me.
So the Anderson Mall, you never know. You got to be kind to your customers. And Kaylee was a good customer. And,
well, I loved the show that we did in the the bookstore, and that was a fun show. That's still one of my favorite shows we've ever done.
That was a real fun. And to watch those people walking in the background and everything. And I
Yeah.
was going to tell you, that's a good book. But you know, Mayo, you and I are friends at bookstores anyway.
Yeah,
And,
well, we are. That's right.
They're wonderful folks. They really are. So, but taking care of that customer is a big thing. And you guys know that also affects if you have a business and you sell stocks, whatever. I mean, that's important because people, I don't know that they think about the stock so much as the way they were treated.
Yeah.
And how they were treated on the phone when you call customer service.
Yeah. I'm actually pleased with, believe it or not, with the AT&T service that I had here. I was very displeased with the internet that I had going on, and they came and upgraded from one type of fiber to another type of fiber, but they didn't have any extenders, and I need an extender for the room I'm in. This is not a fake background. These are real books back there, and I don't know if it's the bookshelves that surround me or what, but I get poor internet service in this room, but it's my favorite room to be in for a call like this because of the books. And so they came back out as a courtesy and did a bunch of stuff and tests, and they've now got me hooked up in what I hope is a better connection.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had a bad connection. We have fiber here. And so it was like I could be anywhere but in where I need to be in this particular part of my studio. And so the guy, he said, I can't figure it out. He said, why it would be that way. And so he did a little investigating. What happened was there's a fireplace over here to my right.
Oh, interesting.
And the way that they put the line in was back where the fireplace was, and the fireplace was causing the problem.
Oh,
this house
was weird.
It was weird, but now you got to think about how houses were built in 1965. Okay, a lot of workmanship was put into that fireplace, and it goes around to the other side. So it was that one issue. So when they changed that out, and I have it wired to my computer, which is to me better than using on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And
I can tell a huge difference with that, but it just depends where it is. But having them come back out to you, I mean, that speaks volumes. I mean, that's great service. I don't have a problem, telling people about them.
Well, my son, he's now 17 months, got sick in, I don't know, February or something, and there is a doctor service that the daycare told me about, and they will just come to your house the old-fashioned way. And sure enough, they came to the house with these bags. Wow. Old doctor did, and they did all the things, checked vitals, gave him a flu test, did all this stuff, and that was very convenient because when you've got a sick baby, the last thing you want to do is get him all bundled up, dressed up, coat, put him in the car seat, take him somewhere while he's miserable, and then get him out of the car. And it was just so nice to have somebody come to the house. I wish I could recall the name of this group right offhand. I can't, but I would definitely promote them if I could recall it. But that was fantastic.
I want to talk to you a little bit about AI.
Okay.
Because when nothing ticks me off worse than to call someone customer service and I get AI, and I know it's not a real live human being.
Yeah.
Now I know there's been a lot of improvements, but now some of the companies need to improve on those improvements.
They basically all do.
It drives me crazy. So it's like and it's never. They'll give you like 6 different ways to why you're calling them. Mine is never one of the 6 ways, ever.
Yes, so that's exactly. So now I can complain. I just praised AT&T. Now I get to complain about. But the whole reason that these people came out is they were the local people that came and did the service. But I was trying to get through to customer representative through the whatever the 800 number is for AT&T, and none of the things worked. And the first time they came out was through that process, which took forever. But they were good. They're the local people. But then the next week when I tried to call them to tell them about not having the extenders and how the service was still bad in this room, and I called the 800 number, the 800 number was telling me that I had to be charged on my next bill since I had recently done a customer service call. And and had the service performed. Since I was doing it 2 weeks in a row, I would have to be charged on my bill. I'm like, well, what? I need to get back. So anyway, I reached out to those people because I had their cell phone number, and they just came out and did it. So it was great for them. It was not great for the company kind of on the higher level. But anyway, so I have both praise and complaint there.
That's what I always tell everybody. I don't care if you are a small business. If you're a mom and a pop, you can whip the big boys. You can do it. I know you can. All you've got to do is apply yours. Now, you've got to have the right employees and the right mindset too.
Right.
If you're a small business person, but I'm just telling you, you know how tight I am with money. I will pay more if somebody treats me right as a customer.
Yeah. Oh, my friend Jenny McCain, she's an attorney in Birmingham at Maynard Nixon. She runs the banking division there. She established this jam and conserve company called Woodhill Cottage, and she is great customer service, very distinctly Southern in her marketing, and she's always wearing like an apron and doing all these nice things. And these jams, I forget their technical terms for what I don't know the distinction between a jam and a jelly and a conserve and all these things, but she sells these and they're really, really good. And I like them so much that I even wrote an article celebrating Woodhill Cottage because my daughter doesn't like my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches when they're made with some other kind of jelly like Smucker's or Welch's or something. She wants the Woodhill Cottage jellies. Oh yeah.
And there are a number of those stores here in Abbeville. Where they make their own stuff, manufacture. And I mean, it's like olive oils, different flavored olive oils, and just all kinds of great things going on. But if you're a mom and a pop, I'm just telling you what, you can beat the big boys. You really can. It's a simple thing. It's just looking at the customer when they walk in the door. And even if you're busy with customers yourself, just tell them you'll be with them in just a minute. Just people want to be acknowledged.
Yeah. A great example here in Auburn, Alabama is Chicken Salad Chick, which is now a big company. And it started with a lady in her kitchen. She was making out of the kitchen. And then finally the city came to her and told her she had to stop because she was violating regulations that you have to have a place with the kitchen that's separate from your house and all this kind of stuff. And so anyway, that caused a big issue, and I forget the whole story, but there's a great entrepreneurial story behind it all and how she got the business up and running. But I really respect that woman for what she did to create that company. It's an amazing story. And it makes me want to eat there just for the story.
And I love stories like that. Paula Dean, how she got started was just making sandwiches, and her sons were taking the sandwiches to businesses and selling those, and just, that spirit, and into an empire.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in Mondami's, New York so much anymore.
No, it's not. We got to go to another commercial break. I want to talk about that when we come back.
Okay, sure. Okay?
That's
all right, sounds good.
Okay, we'll be right back in just a minute.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas mattress list, bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
New York, Alan. Never going to be the same. I almost took a job there. It's a cosmetic company I was working with. I would have been at the Donald Trump Tower. Okay, I
Oh my goodness.
this close right here to doing it, but I didn't. Had a teenage son. I thought, nah. And then by the time I figured out the cost of living there compared to where I was actually better off to take the lower salary and stay where I was. So what is going to happen to New York now?
Well, you know, I hesitate to prophesy or predict, but you can pretty much be guaranteed that bad things are going to happen to New York economically. I mean, in a city like New York, where you've got millions of people coordinating activities, whether it's housing or transportation or commerce, without any central directive, now you're going to have decision-making shifting from bottom-up coordination, which New York's already, got some pretty bad policies in place, but it's going to get even worse. But you're going to have an increasing shift from bottom-up coordination to top-down planning. And when that happens, it always ignores or suppresses the localized knowledge that makes urban systems adaptive and efficient, because a planner can't know the reasons why all these thousands or indeed millions of people are motivated to make one decision after another. And under a socialist policy, you have the planner's ignorance replacing the dispersed wisdom of the market. So socialism distorts or even abolishes market prices, and it replaces them with administrative allocation. And without prices, you can't know whether to build more housing in one district or improve infrastructure in another. These are all things that are left to the natural flows of supply and demand. And so it's inevitable under socialism that you're going to get misallocation of resources. And that could manifest in housing shortages. It could manifest in traffic inefficiency, wasteful construction, just bad infrastructure, all kinds of things. So you need the pricing system, which is basically just the natural flows of commerce, absent government regulation, in order to get rational economic allocation, which comes through voluntary exchange. Once you start distorting prices through socialist interventions, you can't really know if what you're buying is what people are actually willing to pay for it. So these are all just examples of things kind of on a high level theoretical plane that can happen. But, if you've got government dictating who gets housing, where businesses can locate, how much property is used, telling, for example, grocery stores, you have to keep prices at this or that. Well, you're constraining personal freedom. You're preventing experimentation and entrepreneurship from happening. You're not letting businesses try new things, fail, respond to market feedback. You're basically imposing bureaucratic conformity and political favoritism on the entire economy. And it's just never a good thing.
Well, what's going to happen is there's going to be a huge exodus of people coming to other states. And that's what's going to, DeSantis has already, Phil told me about this a while ago. He said, DeSantis is already inviting in Florida, is already inviting the police officers down like he did during COVID.
Oh yeah. The thing is, we want a lot of these people to come. It's good to have population growth and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want everybody coming. If you're voting for, we don't want the Mondami voters coming back down here and doing that to us.
No, and they'll do that. So this is what's going to happen if it hasn't already. New York is going to be only two-class people. You're either going to be extremely poor, you're going to be extremely rich. That's what it's going to be. There's no middle class. You've got to have a middle class.
Yeah, that's true.
You must in order to survive. So, but what's going to happen is these folks who voted for this clown, these poor folks, he's going to step all over them when he's not going to give them any kind of help.
Oh yeah, they're
going to wind up.
you know how some politicians or even CEOs, they take a job and they hold it for 1-2 year, maybe 3, but then they leave before the disasters befall, and they fail up. They jump. I mean, he might be trying to do something like that, depending on who runs in the next presidential election. I don't know. Who knows? But it was interesting to see his speech after winning was pretty militant.
So, okay, if you could guess, what is his 5-year term? Plan. Does he have a plan anywhere?
I don't know.
Other than to destroy New York, apparently that's what he wants to do. And I was there during the Giuliani days, and I'm just going to tell you what, you could even walk around there at night by yourself.
Yeah.
During those days, I felt so secure there. I'm glad I didn't take that job.
Yeah, I know. It's
out of that.
Well, it's sad. My only hope is that we will see from this how disastrous these policies can be. Although what I fear is that he will start realizing how bad these things are, and he'll maintain the rhetoric of socialism without actually instituting it. And then people will start giving credit to socialism for things that he never actually implemented because he realized they would be bad. That's another fear I have. So you never know. I mean, this could go many different ways.
Yeah, I just can't see it going any kind of a good way at all.
I don't foresee very much good coming out of this.
I don't see that. Okay, so if a huge exodus of people leave New York, first of all, the taxes, 50% taxes?
Oh, yeah, New York definitely needs that tax revenue. I mean, it just does.
50%.
No, I mean, I'm talking about they need the revenue for the people that are leaving. Like if they need the people who are, because the people, that's my point is, if they want to institute socialism, they need tax money to do it. And if everyone's leaving, they're losing the tax money. That's the point I'm trying to make.
It is going to wind up being 75% tax. I mean, it's just never going to stop. It's never going to stop. But I can't, even if you're wealthy, why you would want to live there. I
don't understand. It's just not worth it. To me, it's just not worth it. I mean, you got some nice restaurants, you got Broadway and things like that. And there's some charm to New York.
How long is that going to last under a socialist type?
That's the thing. You're going to eat out all those industries and take what's so great about New York and destroy it.
It's the Great Babylon is what I saw somebody post.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
Okay, so if you are working in the I don't know how you could be a conservative person and work in his administration. I would say there's no conservative in his administration. You can't work through that.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what you would possibly be able to do. I think you'd have to, on principle, resign and find some other line of work.
Be there. And then there's his wife. So they're pitting her as she's more beautiful than Melania Trump. Have you seen her?
I haven't seen her, so I don't know. But
she's nowhere near the beauty of Melania Trump.
Well, I don't know why we would be spending a lot of time comparing the wives of politicians for their beauty. Like, that just doesn't seem like a very constructive line of
somebody on drugs. She looks like somebody fixed it. I don't do anything bad. I'm just saying they brought the story up about her great beauty, and I guess the beauty's not of the beholder. I used to think of New York as being like, supermodels and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know what's happening.
Well, I can't explain this, but I started thinking about nice restaurants when I just mentioned the word rice. My stomach has been growling this entire video. Like, I'm hoping that my stomach growling, you can't hear it on the
I can't hear. I would have never thought it.
Because it's like growling like crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me on this?
I'm going to make it worse. There is a restaurant there. When Phil and I have been, we went to his birthday a few years ago, but there's a restaurant there. Do you ever watch Seinfeld? No soup for you, guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, there really is a restaurant there, Soup Man.
Oh really?
Really there.
Yeah,
Now you
not
can't dine
surprised.
in. It's one of those they lift up this shutter and then you just order your stuff and you eat out in the freezing cold. But I will have to say this: best clam chowder I have ever in my life had was at the Soupman. I
You're
don't know
not
if it's still
helping.
there or not. And they're rude. They're rude just like on the show. It
Well,
was
yeah,
probably really nice people. And the boss probably said, "No, you got to act rude, okay? Because people are here because you have to be rude."
there is a restaurant in Atlanta called Taqueria del Sol, and it has multiple locations now, and it's like that. They are pretty rude to you, and they tell you where to sit, they tell you what to do, and they get visibly impatient if you get up to the line and you don't know what to order, and they'll push you aside and call the next person, say you go over there and you come back when you're ready. And it is the type of abuse that people are willing to take to eat that food. It's so good. But they have a shrimp corn chowder there that, if you put it over here and then an army in front of it, I would probably fight the entire army just to get to it. It's so good. So good. But I haven't eaten there in years.
I wonder if it's the same because restaurants have really changed a lot.
Well, I'm worried about that now that I'm sitting here talking about it. I'm like, I hope I'm promoting what still it used to be, because that place was amazing.
I had an Uncle Buck's coffee shop, and you guys see anybody in Oxford, they're going to know what you're talking about. It used to be on Highway 78.
Okay.
And so it was on the corner of 78. It used to be, it's where Ace Hardware is now in Oxford. And so my Uncle Buck, people would come from miles around to get his coleslaw. I mean, he had like this really, really good coleslaw, and he would not give the recipe to anyone, not even his daughters. So people would order this big bowl of coleslaw with a piece of cornbread.
How about
And
that?
my grandmother figured out the recipe because she's a cook, Southern cook. So she said, Buck, I made some slaw here. I want you to taste it. It was like Christmas or sometime. And so he ate it and he goes, it's good. She said, that's your recipe. And he said, it's kind of similar to it, but it's not really my recipe. And she said, it is your recipe. You just won't admit it. And so she found out one of the things was pineapple. So she crushed up pineapple and put it in there. And I mean, it was his recipe. The point is, people would pay a lot of money for that coleslaw, almost as much as they pay for a steak, because it was so darn good. And then salespeople coming through, they would always stop by Buck's Coffee Shop, just a little place in the road. And the guy made bukus of money selling coleslaw. So how important, and I'm going to ask you because I know that you know all about finances and building businesses and stuff. How important is it for folks not to overload inventory when they have a business, whether it's a restaurant or I sell candles? How important is it not to overload, but have a specialty? Sell other things, but have a specialty that draws people in.
Well, I think that's really important. Obviously, I am not myself an entrepreneur. I wish I were. I can, study entrepreneurship in a textbook and teach it, but it really takes somebody that has a risk tolerance.
I've taken your guidance. I really have, and it's worked.
Well, I do think you're right. You've got to have a signature, and that was one thing when I took over the Manuel H. Johnson Center for Political Economy at Troy. It had been pretty dormant for a while, but part of the reason was they were going to do an event this month on immigration, and then the next month on healthcare policy, and then the next month and it had no identity. And so when I took it over, I looked at what the research areas were of the people who were in it to see, like, okay, what do we have in common here? What can all of the people here work on? And then I was looking at what was popular and what people were talking about, and then it just took some other ideas about what donors were interested in, and sort of blended this all together. This would probably be a lot easier to do with AI now. You could just throw all these ideas into AI and play with it, but I didn't have that back then. And anyway, Vivek Ramaswamy had just written Woke Inc., the book Woke Inc., and it was a hot topic then why corporations were going woke. And so we came up with this anti-woke business program, which was a great way to market it because that gave us popular appeal. I got to announce it on Fox and Friends. I got to do all these interviews, but it had a very academic project underlying it. And we did real research into pension funds and into corporate governance and executive pay and UN sustainability development goals and all these different factors that went into the calculus of businesses. And so there's an academic approach to it, but there was also a way to explain what we were doing to a popular audience, and it was great. And so we had an identity and we had a thing to do, and that was very helpful. We became sort of known. And I'm not trying to celebrate this particular example as a success story, but it's just one that I know well because I was involved with it. So I'm just using that as an example. I never would have thought of that as being entrepreneurial, but it was more of just, I got hired to do this. What do I have to do to keep my job? I'm going to come up with some things.
And your kids are. I'm following you guys on Facebook. Your kids are going to be financial geniuses.
My son has started this eBay baseball card. In fact, after we get off this call, I've got to drive to the post office to sell a shirt that he sold on eBay. It was listed for 133 days, and somebody just bought the thing, and he got it as a gift and didn't like it. And I was like, well, let's take it back. He said, well, there's no gift receipt. He's like, you're right, there's not. And he was like, well, I don't want to send it to Goodwill. I want to sell it on eBay. I'm like, I'm never going to sell that shirt on eBay. Sure enough, this morning, somebody bought the thing. And so now I got to
know when the right person looks at it on the right day.
I know.
That's the thing about
it. It was a gift, so he didn't even have to buy it and sell it for a higher thing. Usually when he buys baseball,
profit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he buys a baseball card, a pack of baseball cards, and he may get one really good card or something, and then he's selling all the others for 99 cents a piece. I'm like, no one's going to buy a 99-cent card. Then, every now and then someone buys a 99-cent card. I'm like, and then they pay for the shipping, so you don't have to pay for the shipping. So it ends up they're buying a 99-cent card for like $5. I'm thinking, who is the person on the other end of this computer going around buying a card for 99 cents? Like
they do. They do. 2 minutes left before we go. What's going to happen with the shutdown?
I think that by the end of this week, we'll be out of the shutdown. The Democrats will not get what they wanted with Obamacare. This is going to be bad for the Democratic Party. You had enough Democratic senators willing to vote with Republicans from the beginning that it was very difficult to make this as a purely Democrat-Republican issue. I think it's, they're going to have egg on their face. The Democratic Party is going to have egg on their face. And, calling it the Schumer shutdown was great because it had nice alliteration. I think people remember this as something that this is very obviously the Democrats doing. The Republicans had a clean CR with everything provided for that the Democrats had signed off on in the past CRs. And so there's really no way you could place the blame on Republicans and with a straight face. However, I did see, I don't remember if it was ABC, NBC, but I saw polls showing that majority of Americans blame the shutdown on the Republicans. And I just have a hard time buying that poll. I would love to dig into that and see sample sizes. I'm sorry?
Yeah, who did they ask?
Yeah, who did they ask? How did they do the polling? I find that to be
I don't trust polls. So even when Trump's winning in the polls, I still don't trust polls. I just don't. No. Alan, we're going to have to poll. Thank you so much for being with me. It's always so much fun. I always learn so many new things when I have you on the show. But thank you so much for being with me. And thank you guys so much for watching. I do this because of you. Continue sending email. I get a thrill out of every email you send. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. Thanks for watching.